Welcome to the Personal Development Mastery Podcast. Stand out, don't fit in. Welcome to the Personal Development Mastery Podcast. Today, my guest is a number one best-selling author and an internationally recognized digital publishing expert. He is the founder and CEO of BestsellingBook.com, and he has helped hundreds of individuals become number one best-selling authors on Amazon. Vikrant Shaurya, welcome to the show. It's a real pleasure to be speaking with you today.
Thank you so much, Egi, for having me on the show.
It's my pleasure, and it is something very interesting that you do, and I think many people who have thought or dreamt about writing a book at some point, but were overwhelmed or intimidated by just the sheer amount of work that it involves. I'm sure they will find some useful information in what you have to say today. Vikrant, I just wanted to ask, to start by asking you to give us a little bit of background about your story and any key defining moments that turn you into what you're doing at the moment.
Definitely, Egi. So thank you so much for asking the question, first of all. And talking about my story and my background, I come from a very humble background. Like my father was in military, and but like, of course, when I passed the high school, my dad asked me, what do you want to be? Like, what do you want to do in your life? And I didn't have, till that moment, I didn't have any clarity at all. I didn't have any knowledge or anything like, okay, where exactly I'm going to take admission, which college, or exactly what I'm going to do. But most of my friends, they were taking admission in engineering. Mm-hmm. And then I told my dad that, okay, I want to be an engineer. Then basically, like at that point of time, like the fees of or the admission fees was very high, and he had to sell some of his property to get me admitted in the college. But after a year, I realized that this is not I want to do. Like I didn't, at this point of time as well, I didn't know like exactly what I'm going to do or what I should do. Mm-hmm. But I got this clarity that engineering is not my thing. I don't want to do this. I found it very boring. I found it like all the classes were very theoretical. They were not focusing on practical stuff. And I'm kind of practical guy. Okay. Then one day when I was in third semester, I found a book in my college library called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I just couldn't keep the book. I just read the entire book in just one single sitting. And the very same day, I just dropped out of the college. I never went to the college back. And then, of course, it was very challenging for me. Like, that's a very long story. Like, my dad wasn't happy with my decision because, of course, he invested so much money in that. And I realized that, okay, I should start some of my business. Then, of course, like I didn't have any experience. I got one idea. I started a business around that idea. I took some loan from my seniors, my friends, my family members, my relatives. But in just 6 months, like I was out of money and I had to shut down that business. Mm-hmm. And I was at the age of 20, I was in a huge financial debt. So, and of course, till that time, relationship with my dad and my family were also not so good because, of course, he was still feeling like what I'm going to do with my life. And I was living in just one room apartment, not also having money to pay my rent. Mm-hmm. And I was just convincing my landlord that, okay, please give me 1 month or 2 months, I'm going to pay the rent. It was just $100 and I was not able to pay the rent. Mm-hmm. Then I just had one broken laptop, and I still remember that the fan or the ventilator of that laptop wasn't working. So it used to be so hot that my entire hand, like when I used to type, mm-hmm. It was very difficult for me to type as well. But still, like I thought, okay, let's search for something. I didn't have money. I want to do business. and I searched for some business where I can start with no money at all. Then I searched and I found out about self-publishing. I did some research and I had no option at all. So the first book which I wrote under my pen name, it was on real estate and like how to sell your house or something. Like I gathered some information around from on the topic, and I wrote a book in just 21 days. And of course, like people ask me, how did you write the book in 21 days? I didn't have anything to do at all. I just wanted money. I just was just writing for 16, 17 hours in a day. So because of course I didn't have anything to do, and I wrote it, I published it, and within first month I made around $28. And I was jumping on my bed that, okay, because this was my first earning. And of course I wasn't able to feel myself as well, like, because of course I can see like, okay, this is the progress. Then I wrote and published the second book. I wrote the second book in just 3 days. It was a short version of the book, but I could see the money, and then I just started, I just 10x my entire process.
What was that about, the second one?
It was also about real estate and everything, but because of course I already had so much research data, I put it in a good outline and I wrote the book in just 3 days. And of course everything was under my pen name. So I wrote it, I published it, and this time I also did some marketing as well. And the next month I made around $440. And this was the time because like when I was able to pay the rent, I was able to like tell my dad as well that, okay, now I can see some success over here. My dad was also convinced that, okay, he is doing something good in his life, so that's fine. Let's ask him, like, let him live wherever he wanna do, whatever he wanna do. And then the turning point became when there were some of my friends like who reached out to me and said that, can you please help us write my book? Then of course, just because they're my friend, I just helped them for free. But there were also some entrepreneurs in my friend list, like my Facebook friend list. And they reached out to me that, like, can you coach us to write a book? Then I started coaching them. Of course, I added some coaching fees as well. I made some money from there as well. But the thing is, most of the entrepreneurs, just because they didn't have the time to write the book, they told me that everything is fine. And I can see that if we'll write the book or publish it, then of course we can see the result, but we don't have the time to do it. Can you do it for us? Then I got this idea that this is a brilliant idea. Then I got this idea of this done for you service. And then I started assembling team, like really highly professional ghostwriters, editors, cover designers, and most of the writers, just because the clients are from US. So I assembled a team of US native speakers, like writers, editors, like who have more than 10 years of experience. And then once I assembled it, then I started offering them a one-stop service through which I was able to help my clients. Because of course I'm into done for you book writing, publishing, and marketing service, where those people who don't have the time, scale, or resources to write a book, we can do it for you, even if you have never done it before. So yeah, that's my story, and that was my background and how I created this company.
All right, and now you have a few years now that you've been running the company, isn't it?
So I started the publishing thing in like 7 to 8 years back.
Right.
But I started this company, which was incorporated in the US, in like 4 years back.
Okay, so there are quite a few things I want to ask based with what you said. One thing that I want to start actually is something you say that the author of the book and the writer of the book doesn't have to be the same person. So in my mind, and I suppose in many people's minds, it's one and the same thing. So can you explain what's the difference between the author and the writer?
So author is the person with the book idea. Like he is the main leader of the book. but the writer can be anyone, like who can assist him. For example, if the author doesn't have the time to write the book, then he or she can assist him to write the book. He can write the main core ideas, and then of course, eventually the entire book will be the author's idea. Now, we don't know, like most of the people don't know, but the most of the successful books which we read right now, for example, Tim Ferriss books like 4 Hour Work Week, Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Stephen Covey book, Seven Highly Effective of Successful People, they were all ghostwritten. Like they didn't sit down and write the book themselves. They had the main idea and they had someone else to write it for them. That's why, of course, Tim Ferriss like always promotes the 4 Hour Work Week. He had someone do it for them because he values the exactly how precious time is, and he didn't want to waste it on writing it if he doesn't have the skill to do it. So that's why, like most of the successful entrepreneurs and people who have the money and resources, they try or they prefer to have someone else who has more experience in book writing than him, so that the book, the final product can be a very high quality product, so that the readers can find it very valuable.
Great. So, Vikrant, before we go into the specifics and the how you can help someone, create a best-selling book, I want to ask, first of all, to start with the why. So why would someone want to become a best-selling author in the first place? Obviously, many people do have that aspiration, but is that for many people, or is it for just a select few people that have an incredible idea?
Brilliant question. Talking about exactly why to write a book, it completely depends on person to person. Like the person has to decide exactly why he want to write a book. And for an example, of course, the book can help him in so many ways. For example, it can help you get leads, high quality leads. Because, for example, if you want to share, if the person has read the entire book, your journey, or your values, your ideas, then this person knows about you and he has invested his valuable time in you. Now, if he will subscribe, or he will, you're going to offer something in the book and he's going to subscribe to your email list, then this person is going to be more worth it. So you can build your email list, and of course the book is going to build your personal brand as well. For example, there are two people. First is offering you a business card or visiting card, and the second person is handing you his book. Then of course you will find the second person more valuable, because you will find that, okay, this person is legit. He's a published author and on that particular topic. So that's why, like, it's going to build your personal brand. It's going to establish yourself as an authority. And I've also seen that there are so many authors, by using their book, they got so many paid speaking gigs as well. So it completely depends on exactly what's your priority and why you want to write a book. But of course, there are so many benefits of writing a book, which includes building your email list, getting paid speaking gigs, establishing yourself as an authority, building your personal brand, telling people about your product and services, and also like sharing your values to the team members as well. There are so many reasons, and it completely depends on person to person.
That's great. And I'm sure I'm not an author, or yet anyway, but I suppose it's very rewarding to be there and to be on the top of the lists, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. Vikrant, is it, when we say best-selling author, can you define that? And are you talking about Amazon, or are we talking about other lists of books as well?
So, of course, the one which is very credible and which most of the people know is #1 New York Times best-selling author.
Yes.
Right? It's a different process, and most of the people, they don't know, like, if you are self-publishing a book, then New York Times bestselling author don't select the self-published books. They just go with traditional publishers. So, but for Amazon, like if your goal is to write and publish a book very quickly, because of course traditional publishing is going to take so much time for you to convince that traditional publisher that okay, here's the book idea, and he will be working with you on your book. So it's a very long term process. But if you want to speed up the process, you should definitely try with self publishing.
Okay.
And if I'm talking about the best-selling author, then for now I'm referring to be bestseller on Amazon. Of
Okay.
course, that's not that credible like New York Times best-selling author, but still that has some value in it. Like, and of course, there are so many ways, like exactly how to do the research on categories and exactly how to select your category and how to get a number of sales so that your book can become number one best-selling author. But yeah, like for over here, like I'm talking about Amazon bestseller.
Okay. And is there a specific amount, excuse me, a specific amount of sales? How do you attain the title of number one best-selling author? I mean, what does it mean exactly, best-selling?
Great question. So again, it depends on category to category. For an
Okay.
example, if you have written a book on entrepreneurship, right? Then entrepreneurship is a very highly competitive category on Amazon. The number one book, which is on Amazon on entrepreneurship, is selling 500 copies, 1,000 copies, 2,000 copies a day as well. So to become a number one best-selling author in entrepreneurship category, you have to get more than 500 sales or whatever the sales. Like there are tools out there in the market through which you can find out that how many exact sales the number one book is getting. So your goal is going to be like to do the marketing and promotion to make sure that you are getting more sales than that number one book, so that your book can outrank the number one book and you can become a number one best-selling author.
I
There,
see.
there are also some ways where you can find out some low competitive category. For an example, in entrepreneurship as well, there are too many categories like small business. It is less competitive than entrepreneurship. So you can select that category for your book. For example, now this small business category has only the number one book is getting only 100 sales in a day. So it's going to be easy for you to get more than 100 sales in a day so that your book can become a number one best-selling author with less marketing, less investment in promotion as well.
Okay, thank you. So, just to get that clear, so if your book in one certain day exceeds the number of the other book, is that enough to give you the status of best-selling book? Even
So
if it's done, or does it need to be done consistently over a long period of time?
Amazon's algorithm is kind of strange, but yeah, like what I have noticed is that if your book is number one in that specific category for consecutive 4 or 5 days, then Amazon gives you that number one bestseller tag.
Okay, right. And then that's yours to keep forever then. The
Yeah,
title, I mean.
right. Because of course, like you have seen that there are too many books out there, New York Times bestseller book as well. They they can't be number one bestseller for the entire life. There are too many books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Tim Ferriss books like 4 Hour Work Week. They were number one New York Times bestseller, but now they are not. There are other books as well. So if you have got the title for once, then you can call yourself number one bestseller.
Yeah, sure. It's like when you become, let's say, a world champion in a sport. Then after years, you still you can use the title. I was the world champion, so that never goes away. You have
Definitely.
achieved it. So Vikrant, that's great. So can you walk us then through the process? So let's say that I have an idea about a book. I don't have much knowledge on how to write and publish a book, and maybe I don't have much time either. So, how do I get about with using your process in your company to take that from the idea to actually being published and being there out there on Amazon and people buying it?
Perfect. So talking about the done for you services, exactly how we help our clients. So we have a team of angel writers. So first of all, what we do is once we onboard the client, then we have project manager who exactly understand, like, of course, why you want to write a book, what's your book idea, who is going to be your target readers, and what's going to be the hook of your book. Hook of the book is basically like if there are too many books on the same topic, then how your book is going to be different from other books on that specific topic. So
Yeah.
that's you have to come up with. So the project manager is going to brainstorm with you and exactly come up with these answers. And once we have all these information, then we'll ask you just to fill out a very short application form, which helps us identify like exactly what kind of angel writer you want to work with. Like, what's your book idea, how long your book you wanna be, and what's the topic of the book. So it's gonna help us find out like the perfect angel writer for you. So for now, like we have more than 450 angel writers in our circle of influence. So we call them angel writers, not ghost writers, because the ghost writers are the people like, of course, not all of them, but yeah, most of them, they just take your book outline or just take some of your book ideas and they write the book and they come up with a manuscript after 3 to 4 months. But just because, but eventually, of course, you won't be satisfied with the book quality because this person has written the entire book in his own voice. So in angel writing, what happens is this angel writers exactly understand your vision, your ideas, your stories, your thought process, and writes the entire book in your voice. And we have a system for that where for every chapter we have 3 or 4 interview sessions, like video, and we write the angel writer writes the entire chapter, then he or she sends it to you, and then you are the one like who is going to go through it. If you love it, we're going to move forward with the next chapter. If you need any revision or if you have any feedback, then you can let the angel writer know, and he or she is going to fix it until you are super happy with the chapter. So we're going to keep, so, and that's why we offer unlimited revisions, because we know that how personal your book is for you. So we want to make sure that your book is super high quality and you're super happy with your book. So once the book, like once you fill out the application form, we send it to all the angel writers in that specific topic. And usually within just 72 hours, we get around 25 to 50 angel writers interested in working with you. Then to make it very easy for you, we shortlist 3 to 4 best angel writers who are perfectly suitable for you. And we're going to share their profile and also their answers, like why they think they are the right fit to work with you. Then you can review their profile, review their answers, review the past work they have done, review the sample of writing of the book. And then on the basis of that, you can set up a call with, for example, 2 or 3 shortlisted ones. And then on the basis of the interview, you can decide, okay, this is the person you want to work with. If you're not satisfied with any of the angel writers we have sent, then we're going to send you another batch of 4 or 5 different angel writers.
I get it. Yeah.
But yeah, most of the people, 99% of the clients we have, like they found their angel writer in the first batch. Because of course that's why we asked you to fill out the application form. So once this angel writer is there with you, then of course they follow the system which we have created, which helps us to create the book which you are proud of for. Like first of all, we start creating the book outline. Like we exactly ask you like what's your book, like we take 5 or 6 interview sessions and we take all the ideas and we create an outline of the book, which is very important, because if we don't have the outline, we're going to be so much scattered all over the places and we won't be able to take action. So that's why like this outline is going to be kind of a rough table of content as well. So, and this for every table of content, like with every chapter, there will be different set of interview sessions, and then they're going to write the entire book for you. So usually within 3 to 4 months, they write the entire book for you. And then comes the other process like editing, proofreading, book formatting for ebook and paperback. Then we do cover designing. We also create a book trailer video, just like a movie trailer. And We then publish the book on Amazon. We assign you an ISBN. We write the description. We also do the marketing for you. We make sure that the book becomes #1 bestseller on Amazon. And also, like we're gonna reach out to Amazon top reviewers and all the people who will be interested in your book, so that they will be leaving reviews on your. So we aim for at least 15 reviews, and we then eventually we also come up with a call. I personally come on a call with the client and create a personalized marketing plan for the client, so that they can get consistent sales in the book, and how they can leverage the book to get more clients, or how they can get more leads, how they can get paid speaking gigs, depending on exactly what was their why. So yeah, that's the process we take to, and usually it takes around 6 to 8 months if the client is available for the interview sessions.
I see.
So yeah, that's the time commitment which we want.
Okay.
Otherwise, we do all the work for the client.
Let me ask you, Vikram, because it's you said that you can pretty much guarantee best-selling status on a book. Is that dependent on the kind of book or the idea? Because I'm sure you have been approached by many people that they want to publish a book. Have you turned some people away and said, look, this is not going to work. You can't really make a best-selling book out of that idea. It's too common, or it's whatever it is. How does that happen? Can you judge by the idea, or do you guarantee that no matter what it is, we can make your book a best selling on Amazon? Because it sounds very, for me, it sounds like too good to be true.
So we don't work with all the clients. We get like all the. So first of all, we don't work with fiction authors.
Okay.
Because of course we don't have a specialization, and we don't have a reach in like audience, or like in fiction books. Like we
So
don't
it's
have
purely non-fiction, like, okay.
purely non-fiction. So that's why like we shortlist, like we break the audience in fiction or non-fiction. If they have non-fiction books,
Okay.
and if they have a book idea, and we see that there's a market on Amazon, then of course we know that with our marketing research and with our approach of marketing, we can definitely make the book. We can find that specific category where we can get certain amount of sales, so that the book can become #1 bestseller. So of course we don't work on fiction, but yeah, with non-fiction books, we can guarantee that if they have a good book idea, and we find it legit, if we find it that, okay, this is not just a very cluttered book idea, then of course we definitely work on it, and we make sure that we produce a high quality book, and we also do the marketing and make sure that the book becomes #1 bestseller.
Okay. So have you had people that their idea was really not good, and you said, look, this might not work? I'm asking that again.
Yeah, there were actually, and if I'll be reminding, then actually whenever client come up with too many ideas, like, okay, I have this book idea, I have this book idea, I have this book idea. So they are not sure like exactly on which book idea they want to work with. So either we tell them that, is there any way to have all of these ideas in one book? If not, then which is the book idea like you want to go for the first time? Like, because we can't do all the books together. Like, it's not possible for you, it's not possible for us.
I get it. And
there's a one client we are working with right now. He wanted to do 2 book ideas, and of course the book ideas were really good. So he paid the money for both the books. But again, like, we recommended him to go one by one. So right now he's just working on the first book, and once it will be done, then we're gonna move forward with the next book.
Sure, it makes sense like that as well. It's just you just do one thing and then the other, rather than spread yourself too thin by doing multiple things at the same time. So that's all this that you have been describing is the done for you option, and I believe that you also have the option of someone writing the book themselves if they want to do it themselves, and you take over from then on, and I suppose do the refinements and publishing and marketing and so on. Is that right?
Yeah, so actually, those clients like or those people like who have already written the book or who who just need limited services, like they just need maybe just editing or just the book cover designing or just the marketing. So of course, like we also have customized services, like where we can create a customized services for you, and then you can work with us. The thing is, most of the clients, we feel that this is an entire done for you service. It's gonna be like for all the people like who have never done it before or who don't want to do it. So it includes all the essential services which they need for their book writing and publishing journey.
Sure. The reason why I'm asking, and you kind of answered it already, is that in my head, the process of writing a book seems like a huge amount of work, like a mountain of work. I've heard people, authors, that they say, I avoid writing a book. I mean, people like Tony Robbins, for example, who has written multiple best-selling books, and he says, I really don't like to write books because it takes so much time and research and everything. But of course, he does it. But he knows that once he starts writing a book, that will take a huge amount of the time. And yeah, but the end result, I believe it is certainly worth it. Vikrant, do you want to share any lessons or any mistakes you've done along the way of you becoming a best-selling author yourself? You said that you have helped hundreds. Do you have a number of the people that have gone into best-selling status with you in Amazon?
So we have got around not sure, but yeah, like we have more than 100 of clients, like,
Okay,
but I'm not sure exact about the
that's fine.
exact.
Sure. And what about you?
So for me, like if I'll talk about the mistake which I have made in book writing and publishing journey, is not doing the proper research before starting to write a book.
Yeah.
That's very crucial, and people don't do that. They just come up with a book idea and they say, okay, I want to write a book on that topic. But you also have to see, like, if you also want to make some money from Amazon or from the books, then you also have to do some research and find out that whether if there is any markets as well available on Amazon or not. If there is not a big audience or big market out there on Amazon, then of course you can't blame the book that it didn't make money. Even if your book is highly quality product, but they're not, if there are not too many people who want to read a book on that particular topic, then it's not going to sell.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to do the research and find out if there's a big market out there or whether people are searching for that kind of books or not. That's the mistake which I made in initially my initial days. But yeah, now of course I make sure that I don't have, I don't make that kind of mistake. But yeah, the clients whom I work with, uh, especially for done for you, they want to establish themselves an industry in that specific topic or niche. So if your goal is not to make money from the book itself, and you just want to establish yourself as an authority or build your personal brand or get more clients by using the book, then it makes sense. But of course, you have to set the priority right before you start writing the book. Whether you want to make money from the book itself, then of course you have to do the research. If not, then of course you have to have some back end business you need from the book.
Yeah. Just curious, those two books about real estate that you wrote in the very beginning, do they still sell?
Actually, I unpublished it.
All right, okay.
Once when I made some money around that, then I didn't find it genuine that I don't have any experience on real estate. Then I'm no one to write or advise someone on that particular topic. But of course, I really needed money at that time, so I just did it. But of course, there were so many people like who found the book useful, and you can still find the book. Like, I'll be very honest with you. If you want to search for 19 days to sell your house, and then you can find maybe somewhere on Google the book cover of that. It's a
Okay.
black color book cover, and it's written like the pen name was Vicky Sharma. So
Right, so I appreciate your honesty because when you said that you wrote a real estate book without by using other people's knowledge and collating, it's yeah, it's a little bit there's it's different to use other people's knowledge and another to have actually the experience yourself to write something. But
definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
thank you. Vikrant, let me ask you some quick fire questions as well. Uh, so, in terms of personal development, I want you to tell me what does the term personal development mean to you?
Mm. So personal development for me is gonna be like I don't want to focus only on business. That's my goal. Like I have seen that when I just focus on my business and making more money, then I have never been so much productive in my business. So I always try to prioritize other aspects of my life as well, especially health, relationships, and also spirituality, and then also like my professional life as well, my business as well. So for me, like personal development is improving in all aspects of your life, like mind, where you are maybe meditating or doing some yoga, or just having some space or some time with you alone, then relationship, then health. Like I'm a martial arts, I do martial arts, like I'm a taekwondo like student. I'm still learning, like I've learning from a year now. But yeah, like even in quarantine, I have convinced my coach to take online class.
Okay.
So he does Zoom call, and I do the like for 1 hour I just focus on my health. And then of course when I cover all these things, then I am sorted that in my mind that of course I have contributed in all the areas of my life, and only business is left. Then I give my 100%, if not 200%, in my business as well. And that's where I believe that for me this is what personal development is.
That's great. And a quick another question. You mentioned the term spirituality. How do you define spirituality?
Spirituality is like knowing that exactly who you are. So of course, being honest, I still don't know like exactly who I am, right? But
Same
yes,
here. It's an ongoing process of discovering. Yes.
right. So first of all, like you have to uncover too many layers. Like I've read so many books on the topic, but of course, the books are not going to help you if you are not going to answer, like question yourself, like exactly who am I, like whether I'm a body, whether am I thought, whether I'm mind, exactly who am I. And then when you keep on removing the layers, then you feel that you see that like you are nothing, like you're not the body, you have just accumulated the foods, and this is the body. You're not the mind, like you have just accumulated all the experiences and thoughts, and this is your mind. So who are you? So you still have to discover, and that's the ongoing process, as you said. And for me, that's the spirituality. Like I try to uh, be with me for 15 minutes at least every day, so that I keep on asking this question, like who am I?
Fantastic. That's great. I agree with you. It's very important. Vikrant, if you could go back in time and meet your, say, your 18-year-old self, what's the one piece of advice you would give him?
That don't waste your dad's money, don't get admitted in engineering college.
If you had a magic wand and you could change something in the world as it is today, what would that be?
Okay. So one thing which I want to change is going to be, of course, this corona thing, like because I know that it has impacted so many people out there. Economics has been affected, and especially like the poor people, especially in our country in India, like There are too many people like who were labor class, and they were uh, they were of course taking care of their family on daily wages. And now, just because everything is on lockdown, they can't make money, they are not able to feed their family, their kids, they're hungry, their families are hungry. So if I'll be having a magic wand, then of course I would have solve this issue instantly so that they wouldn't suffer. Like people like us are privileged. Like they don't have too many issues. Like they don't have are facing too many issues because we have some money in our bank account. But there are still so many people out there who are homeless, who have nothing, who have not no saving at all, and they are struggling the most from this thing. So that's what I would change.
Sure. Is there any big aha moment, any big realization you had over the last year or so that you wanted to share with us?
Okay. One thing which I like where I was facing struggle, like I was struggling with my productivity was I had of course I'm more than 25 permanent employees in the company, and then also have too many contractors like angel writers, editors. There are more than hundreds of employees I have to deal with. So I always used to struggle with my productivity. Then 1 year back, I came to know about a technique called time blocking, which like I think Elon Musk introduced this technique, where he mentioned that on that, like in the entire week calendar, you have to specify that exactly on what topic or what particular thing you have to work on. And when I started doing that, like I first of all categorize everything. Like first of all, it's gonna be marketing, like for tasks related to marketing, then content, team, product. I categorized everything, and then I arranged everything on the calendar, and basically like I was able to 10x my entire productivity. So that was kind of an aha moment for me when I discovered this time blocking method.
That's awesome. That's great. Thank you for that. I'm actually going to research that myself because it's always useful to be able to tweak the way that you use your time because it is the most valuable asset we have, as you
Right.
know. Anything else you can get back, but time, once it's gone, you can never get it back.
Definitely.
Vikrant, is there anything you were really hoping I would ask you today and I completely missed it?
No, I think you covered everything. And that's great. Like you covered my story, you covered also my business, and also like about my some personal things as well. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. How can people find out more about you and how can they connect?
So if my company's website is bestsellingbook.com, they can just simply go over there. They can explore like exactly what do I offer. On the homepage itself, like I offer like bestseller blueprint, which comes with a checklist on exactly how to take their book idea to a best-selling book in just 90 days.
Yeah.
It comes with the exact checklist. Basically, like what I have found that people face so much difficulty writing the book because they didn't have the clarity. They don't know exactly what to do, what not to do. They have too many things to do, and they always feel overwhelmed because they search on Google or YouTube, like, okay, how to write a book, how to publish a book. And all of the resources have different kind of method and steps. And that's why they feel overwhelmed. And for solving this issue, like with my experience, I have created a very effective checklist, which I personally use it for my clients as well, service clients as well. And they can use it for free. They can just get it there and just download it simply and get the checklist along with the blueprint, which explains exactly each and every step. So that's where, like on best-selling book, and if you want to reach out, if they want to reach out to me, then my personal email address is Vikrant, Bikrant @bestsellingbook.com. They can simply reach out to me as well, and I would be happy to help you out on any aspect of self-publishing or book writing or publishing.
Outstanding. Amazing. Thank you very much for your time, for everything that you shared. It was very informative and lots of things to take in and hopefully people who have been, thinking of at some point writing a book but being intimidated by what it involves might find some ideas or some answers even. So thank you very much for that. Any parting words?
No, thank you so much for having me on the show. And I also want to thank you for the listeners to listening me and beating me because like I feel that everyone is busy nowadays. But if they are investing some time in listening to some new techniques, then of course it can help them on their business. It can help them in their life as well. So I wish you, if the listeners want to write a book and publish it, then I really want to wish you all the very best and all the success for your publishing journey. But of course, for any help you need, like you can reach out to me via my email, vikrant@bestsellingbook.com, or you can simply go to bestsellingbook.com.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Vikrant, and I wish you all the best with your business and your personal development in your life.
Thank you so much, Aggie.
Thank you very much for listening. Please take a moment to subscribe, rate and review Personal Development Mastery on Apple Podcasts. If you want to know more about me and how I can help you, join my Facebook group Personal Development Mastery. You can either search for it on Facebook or you can simply type bit.ly/PDM group. And until next time, stand out, don't fit in.